Learning from death. Much love to my brother Scott James Bonnell, who passed away last weekend, and I wanted to share this with everyone, this man's energy and passion and some lessons from life as well as some lessons from death. Welcome and much love, Trav here. I am in Venice Beach, beautiful spot, Los Angeles. Walking down to the basketball courts. The last video was going the wrong way, so going into the wind now. Okay, so Scott was, and first of all, the point of this video is just, man, life's short. We need to learn from life. We need to learn from death. We're all headed in the same way anyways. And I want to say, Scott, I shed a tear for this dude, and condolences to his family, condolences to all of his friends. And we can learn, and that's a better way, I think. Well, we want to do both, you know. We want to grieve when someone passes, but I always want to learn. So first of all, lessons from life. And who is Scott? Scott is actually an internet friend I didn't meet in person. He was in my mastermind group from near the beginning, over a year now. So I interacted with him a lot, and we did work trade. He helped me out with accountability and helping people in the group. And I just want to say, this dude, the main thing I learned from him is how much value you can add just from being energetic and excited and positive. The man was very much all of that. Like, he was very thankful, very grateful, very warm, very helpful. In the year that I knew him, I really didn't see any sort of negative mood swings or anything like that, blaming, negative, but I saw him being real helpful, real thankful, real energetic, and that's a good way to add your value. And that's something you should think about, is like, you can add a lot, contribute a lot to society just by being excited, just by being warm, just by saying, life's short, let's fucking go for it. Let's be positive. And I mean, it's something we've been talking about, but to other people, you really are how you make them feel. You are the emotions that you create in other people. That's how we interpret each other. That's the medium we experience each other, is through our emotions. So here's a guy who creates in other people positive emotions, and that's all you really need to do to just add a lot. So the way I experience Scott is positive, warm feelings, warm emotions, right? And I never got the negative from him. Maybe there's something there that I didn't see, but usually over the internet you would find that out over here. I just didn't see it from him, right? So that's a lot to think about. Another thing to think about is circumstances, is how to stay alive. Man, the dude was 28, 29. So that's pretty early. Some people pass earlier, but it's really tragic and early. So I don't really know too much about the circumstances of what happened, but it was a late night car accident Saturday night at like 2 a.m. in Ohio, something like that. Someone must have made a poor decision. It could have been some other driver on the road. I really don't know, but I've had other friends pass away, Mike Thompson in Seattle, from a late night car accident. In the long term, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, stuff like this are threats to our existence. In the short term, especially if you're young, well, cars and drugs are the biggest threat, especially, you know, drunk drivers out on the road can just ram you, and seems like there's not a lot you can do about it. But one thing you can do is try to stay off the road at those times. And for me, it's a lesson that unfortunately I have to learn through other people, is in my life at 27, again, there's a lot of threats to my life, but right now it's cars. Cars are the number one threat. I do a lot of road trips and long drives and stuff like that, so I'll try my best. And for the other people in the car to be like, it's dark, let's get off the road at this point, you know. We don't need to drive a close highway especially when it's late at night and people are irresponsible and drink and drive. So that's something to think about, is like, we can learn from death, like how to avoid it. And I'm not going to say that Scott made a poor decision, because it's pretty fucking unlucky just to get rammed like that. However, I choose to play that safe and play that careful because I recognize it as a threat. And another thing I want to talk about, number 3, is how to be, is that life is short, right? Scott was not yet 30. I'm not yet 30. He contributed a lot in his life. And those of you, this video is probably going up later, but July 1st is a memorial tournament in Ohio. I'm not going to make it to Cleveland. I'm going to stay on the West Coast until I go to Japan. But life is short. You think you have a lot of time to do things. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You might get struck down by bad luck, and you can play around it a little bit, but you can get struck down by bad luck. So if there's things that you want to do and accomplish in life, things that you have been putting off, or big projects that you want, or things that you want to say to people that you keep delaying, or character that you want to bring into your life, why not today? Why not start today, right? You have to do it now at some point. Like, it's a lot safer to start things now, because at least if you die early, you've got stuff done. I mean, I think Tupac Shakur is a perfect example of this. He was like 25 when he died. In the 2 years before his death, recorded 12 albums, starred in like 7 movies, wrote 2 books of poetry. So yeah, he died early, but he had a major contribution for someone, even if they lived 70 years, right? So how many books have you written? How many movies have you started? How many albums have you released, right? In 2 years, right? Lessons. Life is short. It can be taken unexpectedly. And if there's something inside you that needs to get out, let it out now. I think it's fine and reasonable to be a little paranoid about dying and death, because it can happen. There's lots of examples of this. And in the end, we're all going to the same place, right? It's tragic that it happens early, but it's happening to all of us regardless. It's just a matter of time. So don't take time for granted. Don't take life for granted. Don't live like you're immortal. Learn a lot, but apply a lot, get a lot of shit done, and spread your message. Do the shit that you want to do, and start immediately. Today's a good day to do it. So thank you all. And exercise, always like to have an exercise. Something you can apply immediately from these videos is, imagine your funeral right now. What do you want people to say about you? And what do you want your lasting contribution to have been in society? For my interpretation of Scott is that he was a very energetic, positive character, personality persona, and that he made other people feel good. And if you do that, then that's value. So what is yours? For me, I think about my legacy. I want to leave a lot behind and show that love is a viable way to get things done. And I just want to be a good example of hard work as well. Persistence in the things that I do and the way that I live, and show that there's a healthier and there's better ways. Help people move, think, and feel better. I guess I'd love if at my funeral I die, people say, he helped people move, think, and feel better. If I die early, maybe they say, well, he died early, but he contributed a lot. He wrote thousands of blog posts and hundreds of thousands of hours of video, and sharing as much as he could. So what would you hear about you? Now I'm headed to see if I have friends at the basketball court, go swim in the ocean. Maybe I get pulled under today and die, So if this is the last thing that I did, I feel okay about that. Thank you all. Keep going, learn from life, learn from death, be positive, be energetic, be smart, be safe, be careful. But the safest play is also producing as much and sharing as much as you can right now. So that's my contribution. Hope you find this useful. Much love, and I'll see you in the comments. Peace.